so I want to talk about posts. Okay, so posts are not just post offices. They include different types of things, and originally were sticks in the ground. Okay, so in 1000 and Elfric's Lives of Saints, this is from the Chambers Dictionary. It describes a post as a piece of timber. Okay, so posts, pillars, poles, and then later on it was used as an office duty or employment. And then later after that, it was used to describe something such as messenger service. So in the Constitution, we see under Article 1, Section 8, a post being post office and post roads. But it wasn't using the term in reference to just mail carriers. So we see in 1000, the year 1000, that it was used as a stick in the ground. And we see it's also used to describe a place. So a place where there's a stick in the ground. Okay, so here's the word post. This is from American Dictionary. It's an old dictionary from the 1800s, and it has a lot of explanations to words in it. Okay, and there's different meanings under the word post. So here's one definition. This is the second definition. There's one above this one, but there's several in this dictionary for post. So this one says a messenger, posting, writing, a station, a site, a fixed place, a position, or station. Okay, so when you're stationed somewhere and you're in the military, it's called a duty station. Okay, or it's called your post. Especially a military station, or the place where a single soldier or a body of soldiers is placed to guard this post. The troops posted or stationed at a particular place. A place where horses were kept for traveling, a stage, a station, a posting house. So when I was in the military, when I was in boot camp, I was we had showers that were community showers, and we had community toilets and such. And I was, going to the restroom one day, and I saw a girl in the stall next to me, because there were no doors, and she was the yeoman, meaning she was the messenger girl, and she was sitting there reading her mail, where we had been told we weren't allowed to have mail. And I had mentioned to one of the other girls that she was the yeoman, was in there reading mail. And I wasn't the only one that saw her, but our company commander, who was in charge, she called me and she told me to post at her office door, which meant I had to go stand outside her office door and wait for her, standing at attention until she was ready to come speak to me or call me into her office to speak to her. And she wanted to know about this person reading mail in their toilet stall, and I had to speak to her about it. So post is a place where you stand. It's a place where you're stationed. It's a stick in the ground. It's a place where a messenger person, a messenger boy, or a messenger man starts, and then he ends at another post. And he delivers mail, and usually it's a quick delivery. Fast. It's supposed to be really fast. Okay, it's from post to post. Mail's from place to place. the post office. Okay, this mail was kept in an office. Originally, it wasn't kept in an office. There were just, you'd stop at the post, at the stick in the ground. You'd collect letters, and the post boy would be sitting there with his horse, and he would collect the letters and put them in his messenger bag and run to the next post. Okay, so Benjamin Franklin started the first post office for mail in 1776, but when the Constitution was written, they knew that they needed a messenger service also. But the Constitution was created for defense purposes, only for defense purposes, for fortifying the nation. And so when they use the term post, they're using it in a general sense. They have post offices, which are all the offices on the military post. The post, meaning the place, the stick in the ground, the station, the location. Okay, so when they say post, they're not only speaking of post office as a mail carrier system. Now, they do have mail carrier systems on post. So they have post offices on post. Okay, so let's look at some other definitions. Here's the first part I read. Technically, in bookkeeping, it's a journal or a ledger. Okay, to post in one's book. In the Navy means to promote from commander to captain, because a commander is the executive officer, but a captain is the first officer. So when you go from second officer to first officer, you take over the post. You take over that military station. You become the commander of that post. Okay, you're in charge of all the post offices, meaning all the offices on post, which includes the messenger office. Okay, to travel with post horses, to travel with all possible speed. Let's look at these are all from the same book. Okay, post. Here was the first one. The one I just read was the second one. So this is the first part. Okay, so postist, a post, a doorpost, something firmly affixed. Postus, positus, to place, to set. A position. Post offices are in a place. They're set in a place. Pieces of wood are posted upright in the ground to support something else, such as the name of a town. Okay, an upright timber as a frame. Post king, doorpost. A pillar or column in a structure. A vertical pillar forming a part of a fence, or for holding aloft telegraph wires. That was later. Okay. One of the uprights of a bedstead. Standards of a chair back. In mining, pillars of coal or ore. In paper making, a pile of one-handed, or I think this was 144 sheets of handmade paper, fresh from the mold, etc., etc., etc. A pole or a staff, something you carry. A post, you carry a post. Okay, and that was number 2. I just read that. Let's see. Manage, to raise and sink in the saddle in accordance with the motion of horses, especially when trotting. To post up. In bookkeeping, to make the necessary or proper entries up to date. So when you work on a ship, you keep a log book. A log book, log, originally the word log later became law, L-A-W. Law is and also used for legend, as in ledger. So log is a log book, which is a ledger, which is for bookkeeping, which the military keeps books on everything, and they keep them at their post. So they post in their ledger, which is the law, to keep supplies with the latest information on a subject to inform fully. Okay? When things happen and they're posted in the post book, the log book, it becomes law because it's fact. Okay, so that's the fact of the events that happened, and it could be submitted as evidence in a court. Post, to place in a post or position, to spy. Okay, so the post messengers during wartime are also spies because they're carrying messages back and forth. Subordinate, hired to do what is wrong. Okay, a poster. A postable, capable of being carried. Postern. Postern. A small back door, a postern. In ordinary language, a small doorway, a gateway at the back of a building, a private entrance, an entrance or gate. Fortification. A vaulted passage underneath a rampart leading from the interior to the ditch and closed by a gate. Any post you come to has a gate. A passageway at a retted part of a bastion. I think that's supposed to be retired part of a bastion. Postern gate, a postern. He found his way to a postern gate. Let's see what this one says. Postmaster in ordinary language, the official who has the charge and superintendence of a post office. One who keeps or lets post horses. So the cavalry, they ride horses. Cavalry is the military. They keep horses. They keep post horses, and they would have a postmaster who would keep the post horses. So it's related to military. It's related to passages of letters, to messaging. Okay, now the franking laws are the laws for the government so that they don't have to pay postal fees. They don't have to buy stamps. Okay, in English universities it has a definition. Okay. That's a different one. Here's the franking. Post-free, franked, free from charge of postage. That's for members of Congress to be able to send messages or letters to the various posts, such as the military stations. They shouldn't have to pay for using their own service. So a pillar, this is also post, even though it's not written up here, it's because it was split. So the other half was at the bottom of the column before, and this is the second half. Okay, the starting place for a race. Also the winning post. Some good horses mustered at the post. Mustered is gathered. It means gathered. It's usually used in reference to military. Like when I was in the military, they would say, we're mustering outside the barracks at 0800. So that means that I had to gather out there at 0800 with my fellow shipmates and wait to be told what to do. A pillar, a support. Okay, knight of the post. Post and paling. A closed wooden fence constructed with posts fixed in the ground and pales nailed in between them. Post and railing, post and rails. In mining, a post of working coal in which so much is left as pillar and so much is worked away, forming rooms and thurlings. Okay, so you know what those are. They keep up their pillars and posts that go across the pillars to keep the roof from falling in on top of the miners. Okay. I have one in here I want to show you. It says postmark, a mark stamped by the post office officials on letters, etc., showing the place and time of the posting of the letters and the various post offices through which they passed. It also serves to obliterate or cancel the postage stamps affixed, so you can't reuse them, so they stamp over them. Post captain in the Navy, a captain of the British ship of war of 3 years standing, now simply styled a captain. He ranks with a colonel in the army. There's I think it's postmaster. Let's see, that's not it. Postman in English law, one of the 2 most experienced barristers in the Exchequer Division of the High Court of Justice, who have precedence in motions, so called from the place where he sits. His post is where he sits. The other is called the tubman. There's one in here I really wanted to. It was something like postmaster as part of a cabinet. So it was a political position. Let's see if I can find it. That's not it. Well, here's poster. Okay, poster is interesting because it means a bill, a large printed bill or placard. See that bill? So when the government or the IRS or somebody sends you a bill, and I'm not talking about your electric bill because you have to pay your electric bill, but a bill is a notice or advertisement posted in a public place. So they send it to you in your mail and they call it a notice and tell them you have to pay them. But it's just an advertisement. And this is in the various laws written by, or titles written by the federal government, that their forms are advertisements. They're notices. They're nothing, but they're called bills, and they're posted to you, posted through the post office. One who posts bills, etc. A bill poster. Poster, one who posts, such as when you're in the military and someone higher than you calls you and tells you to post. You run and you stand at attention at the place where they tell you to be. We had watchstander bills that were posted on the wall, and you had to go and see what time and place you would be posted, where you would stand watch, and you would walk between one place to another, back and forth, posting. This is your posting area. And you would just make sure nothing was going on, nothing bad was happening. No one was trying to get on post. I worked on a flight line, so I just walked around the hangar and walked around the hangar and walked around the hangar, checking on the aircraft, making sure that they were not being messed with, make sure that nobody was around that wasn't supposed to be around. I worked at a weapons test station, weapons test squadron, so we were stationed out in the desert, And if the wind started picking up, I had to get these big, huge chains and haul them across the flight line and chain down all the aircraft, because that was my duty while I was on post, posted at the post. Okay, so post has a lot of meanings. Now, I've had people argue with me and tell me that I'm wrong, that the only meaning post has is the post office, meaning the place where you go to mail letters. You know, when people say these things to me, I know that they have no idea what they're talking about and that they've never been in the military. I know I showed this fortification, that's defense, D-E-F-E-N-C-E, which is written in the Constitution, and it's written with a C. Okay. There was one I wanted to show you. I can't seem to find it now, but it was something like the Postmaster General or Post General being a member of a cabinet. Oh, here it is. Postmaster General. That member of the government who has the charge and direction of the post office. And now, post office, don't think the mail place. Post office is any office on any post. In all its departments, he is a member of the cabinet. Okay, so there's post offices on the military posts. There's a whole bunch of them. Okay, so he's a Postmaster General. He's the member of the cabinet. And I believe this, in our system of government, the federal level, means, I think he means a policeman. The Postmaster General would be the policeman on the military post. Don't quote me on that. I'm trying to remember. I'm going off memory. Okay, so yep, so that's it for posts. When you read the Constitution, if you should choose to read the Constitution, where it says in Article 1, Section 8, post offices and post roads, it's talking about in reference to military, which includes the messenger service or the letter carriers, but also includes a lot of other things too. So that concludes this video. Y'all please like, share, and subscribe, and especially share. And I'll see you in the next video. Y'all have a great day.